User stories. Once you have a pretty clear idea of who might use your product, it's time to map out how he might use your product. This helps you design the flow of your product to be as smooth as possible. For this, UX designers create somewhat called user stories. A user story is a short sentence which encapsulates a user, a need, or piece of functionality in the language of the end user. It sums up what the requirements or goal is and the reason for it. It also means requirements are presented in a user-centric way. You can see it in a better way in this illustration. In the following image, you can see a very basic formula on what steps the user could take in order to navigate through the app. For example, when Mike presses Details button, he wants to read more about a specific designer article, so he can see more information about specific action he took. Or, as a common user, I want to be able to sign in so I can use the system. And then we need to create a user story. You will normally create your first user stories after your initial research phase and when we actually created personas. In other words, you can create them when you have a basic idea about your product target users. How to create user story? Fortunately, as I already said it, a user story is extremely easy to create once you have done the initial thinking behind it. Depending on how you intend to use it, there are 3 steps I would suggest. On paper cards, useful if you wish to run a planning workshop or get an idea how to group the stories. In a spreadsheet, put your stories in a spreadsheet if you have a very large number or wish to manipulate them easily, or online. Online tools like Trello can be useful for creating and helping create and organize your user stories and distributing them along your team and clients. Where to start? Talking about user stories is great, but here's how to get moving on them. Nearly every application has a base set of stories that are needed to launch. If you start there, you will get practice on writing them and understanding the format. Write them with your team members. If you work closely with product managers or developers, pair up to write the stories so all team members understand the effort that goes into them. Ironically, writing less is often harder than writing more, so you may spend over an hour writing a single user story. But don't worry about it, it's pretty easy to come up with one. And finally, a simple assignment for you. Try to create your own user story based on personas you have made early in this section. If you want to learn more and from others, feel free to share your insights in the discussion section to the right. Ask questions, ask bugs, ask whatever you want. I will be there and all the students will be there.